Welcome to JGTCR, I'm Cope, and today we are tuning the AMG GTS15. Let's get into it. In factory trim, the GTS is a bit of a tank to drive. It is somewhat clumsy and cumbersome to drive. When inputs are made, the vehicle is slow to react, and this can take some getting used to. The weight this AMG carries certainly can be felt, and is a major contributor when it comes to the issues associated with this car. First and foremost is understeer, which will be involved as we approach every turn. When using the brakes, the vehicle only wants to travel straight forward, so we must ensure all braking is done before we reach the turn-in point. If additional braking is needed while cornering, we should expect to go wide. When applying the throttle on corner exit, we should expect, you guessed it, understeer. But wait, there's more. The understeer can very quickly turn into oversteer. To avoid this, it is best to slowly apply the throttle, as it is sharper inputs that lead to this chaos. The GTS is a bit of a mess, but it can be conquered with some time and patience. Let's collect our time. 7 minutes 34.2 seconds. And now the tune sheet. In this tune, most of our efforts were spent getting the front end to respond to our inputs. The front camber angle is quite high on the suspension. Also supporting the front end softness is the anti-roll bar and dampening ratio expansion. Our body height adjustment tilts the nose down, shifting the weight forward and giving us more downforce. Speaking of downforce, our aerodynamics has been crucial in providing better handling and maneuverability. Let's test this out in the field. After tuning a few AMGs, it seems as though they are all in desperate need of some aero, as it seems to be the most important part to get right while tuning. The extra downforce definitely helped pin the car to the road. It is also more attentive and nimble while cornering, making it easier to place on the track. The additional power post-tune is great, and delivery of that power is smooth and easy to manage. That is not to say that we do not experience oversteer more often, but when we do experience some tail-end drift, it is very controllable. Our braking capabilities has seen a great deal of improvement. We are very solid under braking and no longer spear off the road due to understeer. All in all, we are free to drive far more aggressively without the fear of punishment. And that's a world of difference from where this vehicle started. Let's get to that lap time. 6 minutes 18.9 seconds. And now the drift tune. Most of our race tune transferred well to our drift tune. Most of our time was spent softening the tail end. This is to ensure smooth transitions and directional drift. Out to Suzuka to see how it performs. With almost over 900 horsepower, the AMG GTS15 pretty much drifts itself. As such, we have kept the tune very simple. The suspension is firm but not hard. The rear suspension is slightly softer than the front. This allows for smooth and clean transitions and gives us enough grip while sliding to provide directional drift. The front-end suspension is solid enough to keep us firmly planted to the road, while giving us enough flexibility to direct the vehicle exactly where we want it to go. With the kind of power being delivered to the rear wheels, this AMG is more than capable of lighting up the tyres at almost any RPM. So regardless of what flavour of drift is our favourite, it's definitely on the menu. A word of caution though, is that the GTS does like to pick up speed while drifting, and it can get away from us at times. Should this not be the drift style you're after, 20 to 30 kilos of ballast over the front wheels should fix that right up. The AMG GTS-15 comes to us as a chunky vehicle in desperate need of some Weight Watchers. And the lack of aero provided by AMG is truly astonishing. This vehicle is let down by the fact that we cannot place the power to the ground without understeering. And even while braking and coasting, the threat of understeer is always at hand. The greatest asset when modified is the aero parts. It gives us the support that we need to be able to confidently attack turns and actually race this car. The extra power and braking abilities are great, and the suspension definitely plays a strong role in refining the handling characteristics, but the true MVP of AMG builds is the aero. Honestly, it's a wonder why it's not a greater focal point of AMG vehicles in general. And that's all we have for you today, so until next time, keep racing.